Racing League today. Finally, we are in the evaluation race grid 2 in France, where drivers will try their best to try and get in a tier where they can actually compete and fight for the title. Today, alongside me in the commentary box, I have Jared Fosbury. How are you?
I'm awesome. I can't wait for this season to get underway as we are in the first evaluation race, but this is for grid 2.
I mean, it's exciting to see finally some action on track after some month with inactivity, you know, in this league. So I think it's gonna be, doesn't matter that it is an evaluation race. I think it's gonna be great action, anyways.
Oh yeah, I agree, of course. Plenty of action, as it isn't really like the first round. Basically, you can all we're looking for is your race pace. The strat is soft to hard, of course, and there is a few people actually on mediums as Shane and Rumford, but they have to remember it is a soft to hard strategy.
Yeah, that's gonna be important because we actually told drivers before the race that they had to make a soft hard strategy. So let's hope that everyone follow the rules, you know, and they do not forget about getting their softs for the start.
Yeah, I will keep an eye on that, of course. They may be doing it as banking runs at the moment, but I believe the first person on a lap was actually an AlphaTauri, which I actually believe was actually Mumford, which I have to get used to this new system. It's actually Lewis, actually, where it used to be on 2019 where you could click the name, the spectate. You actually have to now go and click the spectate button.
Yeah, and there we have the AlphaTauri starting the first lap of the session on softs. We can see Mumford on mediums. Well, probably he'll just start a lap on mediums and then he'll just go to softs. But he has to watch out. Actually, Luis, last season he was pretty consistent, I must say. I mean, maybe he was not one of the fastest, but he was always on the points. I don't know how his pace looks like on this game, but definitely he's going to be one of the drivers to watch.
Well, that is true, of course. He was actually in IRL F2, one of their guys actually fighting at one point for the championship, and for the constructors mainly, his teammate who was Can, who was actually fighting for the driver championship at the time. Louis was actually keeping up with him from an F1 driver who dropped down to an F2, so his pace has improved, he's matured a lot, and let's see what he can do in this evaluation session, as he's in Sector 3 at the moment, and he's had a nice and tidy lap so far there, Paco. There's no mistakes, has just kept his cool and looks focused right now.
Yeah, definitely. He's having a really smooth lap, and we can see that he's now heading to the last corner. Really important to have a really good exit with good traction, because if not, that can screw your whole lap. As he said, so 1:28.8. That's not bad. And then, but big fast actually get the fastest lap, 1 second ahead of Luis. But look at that, Dashi just behind with 1:28.1, and well, actually Felix not a good lap, to be honest. 1:29 flat, a bit disappointing.
Yeah, that is a bit disappointing there for Felix. He is basically the Nico Rosberg in that Mercedes. He has had the game since it came out. He has put a lot of practice to it. It might be a bank lap for Felix. He is looking forward to this game. His pace has improved a lot, to be fair. But right now he's sitting in 5th place with a 29 flat. 5 tenths quicker than Catboy, but a couple of tenths slower than Lewis, who was an F2 driver last season.
Yeah, and I'm just watching B8 Phil, Daniel, who has had an incident where he just lost the car and he was just spinning constantly, but he's back on track. Daniel, actually last season he was not the fastest. Definitely he was on Division 2. He was always fighting for the bottom positions. He says that he doesn't feel like he has improved. But definitely we're still in the beginning of the game. And definitely, I don't know if you agree, today could be like an important day for him, because if he gets a good result, definitely that's going to be a boost for his morale.
Oh yeah, that is true. Of course, I have raced with Daniel. He's a very talented driver. As Brazil, we were, I think, 1,000th of a second to the line, and unfortunately had a penalty which increased that gap. But yeah, Daniel was sort of the start when he entered IRL, and I was on wheel, so I wasn't actually at the full pace. But he actually improved a lot in challenging a few people. So I think he has got the mentality to improve and actually challenge some guys in the later of this game's life cycle. But right now I think he needs to just focus on his race pace at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, I'm on board with Jamie on the racing point. He's actually has just started the lap, but he's already finishing the first sector. As we can see, almost losing the backend there, but controlling the car. He has a really nice exit, going a bit wide, but it's the best way to actually get some speed at the exit of that corner. And then we have this really long straight, which is actually like a perfect spot to overtake. I mean, France definitely have many parts where you can actually make an overtake, really long straights, where you actually have to make a big braking effort, you know. So definitely we're gonna see lots of drivers trying. Oh, and we can see Jamie just went a little bit wide, and I don't know if you noticed that, but his connection definitely not the best one, as we can see him lagging a bit, but could be worse.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, I have seen worse internet connections, but right now it's tolerable. I don't think it'll affect anyone in the race. He did say though, if his internet was too much of an issue, he actually would pull alongside and let everybody through and just focus on his race pace, which is a smart call, of course, as Pedro's still in the lead with a 27.899, as actually he moves 8th there, Jamie, with that lap, 30.4. So he can't break in the 29th at the moment, as I believe Mumford's actually best lap is on the 29.7 on medium, so Mumford's actually faster than Jamie, and I believe Jamie was actually in F2 last season with Mumford, and Mumford wasn't that quick at the start, but got quicker overall through the season.
Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, the good thing, or at least the thing I like, you know, from going to from a game to another, is just to see those position changes, you know, between drivers, because maybe some drivers were really good, you know, on the previous game, but suddenly they just flop on the new one, or the opposite case, and this could be actually a good start from Mumford. Because it's true that, I mean, well, it's actually, his lap was on mediums, so it's going to be interesting what he's going to be able to set on softs.
Well, that is true, of course, and as you're keeping an eye on that, I am actually looking at another talented driver who won the Constructors' Championship last season with Matthew Older in IRL F1, who I believe is actually going to start a lap. So we'll see how Cameron Young then will do, because I believe we have heard that if he is in the F1 tier, he will not be teammates with Matthew Older. There is a teammate who he would like to be, who we're going to keep secret. But right now then, as Cameron comes down the long straight as the runner there, smartly gets out the way, I believe that was Daniel. As Cameron there gets a nice entry through turn 1 and 2. And he stays in 8th gear there, comes into the little chicane, goes to 3rd, doesn't go to the 2nd actually for the extra turn in. Drops 2nd there. Very nice time.